this is Lucy, and today I'm going to show you how to build this boathouse with a sliding door. If this is something you're interested in, please stay tuned. So I'm going to start with a quick tour. Firstly, the location. We are up near Tyler County racetrack, dirt track. I will show you on the map. This is where the vault is. We are up here near the Ferris wheel and just across from Deathclaw Island. Those of you who watch my channel regularly may remember that this is where I built the gardener's tiny cottage. So we are across the road. The fence has a couple of gaps in, so I just put a barbed wire fence gate in. I should have pulled my camp widget slightly further to the left, I think, for this. So we have the new water well, deep well, which gives you purified water, but despite all this paraphernalia, it has no animation, which is just weird. I built the boathouse using the new set. I was going to double wall it, but I just thought that this kind of tile effect, looked like cedar tiles, kind of suited the idea of the boathouse. Now, ideally I would have liked this 2 wide and 3 deep, but because of the location and because I wanted to put a door in underneath here, you need 3 wide really. And I didn't really have enough space to make it 3 by 3, and I think it would have been a bit too big, so I kind of had to settle for this. Obviously we have this deck, we have our ducks on the river, we have a fishing spot. There is another door here, kind of the front door I guess. I use these pirate ship doors. Went for a blue theme. In my beach house I used a display with similar things. There's the lighthouses, the picture of the lighthouse, and the captain's hat. Tiny little kitchen. I made use of the barrel fridge. I did have a message up there and it said high and dry, but every time I logged on, the H, the I and the D disappeared, and they didn't go back in my inventory, they were just embedded in the chalkboard, and I gave up. I'm sorry, I gave up. So I got the table and everything on it by using a conduit trick that Vlad taught me. I will put a link down below if you want to know how to do this. It's really useful in small spaces. Obviously I've got Prince in the kitchen. This is Prince, if you don't know. It's kind of sad that when you put him in a jar he goes from sort of teal and bright blue to brown. Obviously he doesn't like captivity, but this is what he should look like. So Prince has to look at a stuffed frog. I'm sorry, Prince, that's kind of a bit mean really, isn't it? Upstairs we have a bedroom with a desk. I made use of the new wall safe. I did put a conduit railing up. We have our parcel shelf because this stair is offset. And if you're wondering why I bothered, it's because of this. If you had the ladder in a legal place, it would bring you up to here and you would lose effectively the space to put the bedroom in or the bed in with all this stuff here. And I like the bed centred under this eave. Bathroom, fairly straightforward. Sink in a dresser because, of course, those legs stick through the floor. I have used this pirate ship door on all of the doors, it just seemed appropriate. These roofs, well, the walls here were a bit tricky. It was to get this door in for the bathroom without compromising the pattern on the outside and being able to double wall this as well. I will show you when I build it. Obviously, to create this build, you will need, this door comes with the prefab barn. I saw Mr. Church use it once. I couldn't remember how he did it, couldn't find the video, so figured it out myself. It's not complicated, but I knew it worked, so there was a way that helps sometimes. I have kind of an outdoor eating area, rec area. I have made use of these elm trees because they have a huge radius for suppressing weeds. I had a bit of a problem in this area. It used to be, in the old days, before someone worked out you could use a pressure plate, that you used to have to find areas of ground where things would sink in. And this whole area is one, so I was going to put a rockery out here, but yeah, it just kept, every merged thing I put on it, it would pop up, so it was a problem. I also have one of these elm trees over here because I had a piece of stuff that was coming through this foundation and it didn't matter what I put down, confetti, whatever, just would not go away. So this is a neat trick. I'll quickly take it up and show you. See if it, oh, it's not come back now. It's been suppressed for so long, it's given up. So it's not too complicated. Getting the roof, these triangles on is a bit complicated. But there's not a lot of flamer trapping, but there is a little bit, mainly to do with the door. And if you don't have the barn door, then you don't need a flamer trap, pretty much. Right, let's get on with the build. So I've placed my camp widget and I have moved it down slightly so that I have more space at this gateway, because this is going to be the gateway into the property. There is another gap up here. It's up to you whether or not you want to make that the gate. If you do, then maybe put the front door this side. I have lost some of the garden area here, but as I said, it was a bit tricky building around this area. So I'm going to move my camp widget out of the way. Sorry, there were liberators. Of course, it waits until I'm recording. And I think the house started around here. So we are going to get our barn out. Just going to go into camera mode. I think it'll be hopefully easier to line up. And we want it far back enough that we've got enough space to get a foundation on the front, because we're going to need to do that to line up the foundations for the door. It won't go any lower than that. So we'll give this a go. You might need to do it a couple of times, depends. Sometimes I think it's just luck. And of course my building budget was full, so I had to delete some stuff before I could place this. So we'll try it again. Might move it along a bit because we've got more space on the right now. Right, let's give it a go. Right, we're going to put the doors on. These doors will only snap onto this prefab as far as I know. Right, now what we need to do is flamer trap the doors. And you will see that they're in this kind of fall down state. So we're going to store the barn because we might need it again if we've got this wrong. We are going to put the doors up. We are going to close them so that we have this center point. And we're going to try and line up some foundations. And the easiest way to do this is to use the line on the foundation. I forgot to mute my phone. And just try and line up a foundation like so. Now obviously it needs to go back this way. It's very difficult when you're in camera mode to actually kind of get a three-dimensional idea of where things are. Obviously you need it slightly lower than your door. It needs to come back this way a bit. And it needs to be straight. I'm leaving a little gap like this so that there's space for the walls to go on behind it. So we're going to do this, 3 along, and then we have the wraparound kind of porch area here. Need to make sure we can get a ladder on. Stairs, sorry, I'm not allowed to call them ladders anymore. Just because Bethesda says it's a staircase doesn't mean it's true. Right, the ladder will not go on that one. We can put it on one of the others. We don't want it there. Put it there. That's fine. I mean, you can adjust however you want, really. We are now going to fill in. Oops, I'm in the way. The floors for the house, and the house is 2 by 3. So this is the house. Some of these floors are the wrong way around. Silly Lucy. Like so. Right, we are going to put some walls on the house. We are using this new set. We are going to have a door here. Won't go the right way. Plain wall here. Plain wall, plain wall, plain wall, plain wall. There will be a window in the middle. And we're going to put glass walls along the front edge. Well, we're going to try to. There we go. I was suddenly worried that my thing wasn't straight, but it's fun. As I said, if you leave a slight gap, you should have no problem getting the walls on. About the width of a wall, in fact. Now for the upstairs, after having to deal with a floater that was shooting my house from over there. Right. Now, this may seem a weird way of doing some of this, but there is a method in my madness. The first thing we're going to do is we are going to add half walls all the way. Yes, I know I have not put the stairs in yet. Like so. And we want top wall arches on the ends. We could go into camera mode, might be easier. Top wall arches on the ends, like so. Then we are going to put the roofs on that section. I use the green roofs, whichever ones you want. The new mining set, I've got a build coming out with that. Well, I'm creating a building using that set. Will hopefully be out in a couple of weeks. So we've got that. Now, this section here, because of the dormer, is going to be higher and it's going to have a higher roof. So we need top wall arches on the tops of these. However, and this is where it gets complicated, because I put a door in the bathroom and then I put a top wall arch, this top wall arch has white trim. So on this side of the building you will have this sticking out. Now ordinarily in a building this shape I would use these on top of these roofs, but these do not have any trim, so you'll have one piece with trim and three pieces without. Now if you don't want the bathroom door, just put these on. That will work fine. But if you do want the bathroom door, then we have to do this, because we're going to need top wall arches everywhere, but you cannot put a top wall arch on top of a fascia for reasons. In the old days it wasn't a problem because walls would snap downwards, but they took away our ability to snap walls underneath things because apparently floating camps are bad. Now there are lots of ways to make floating camps and we can still do it, and it's kind of become redundant in my opinion, but you know, Bethesda. We can leave this one, it doesn't matter because we'll be putting a doorway in there anyway when we get the upper floors on. Right. Can now add the windows for the dormer. We can add the higher roofs like so. And once we have done that, we should be able to take these walls off. I just scrapped the wrong thing, didn't I? Did I delete? I don't know. Said it deleted something. Right. Never mind. As long as it wasn't the barn door. So, now we can put the staircase in. To do this, just take a wall, any wall, make sure it's facing this way, get a half catwalk and attach a staircase. That's where that flamer got my cam. Now we need to take this foundation up because the staircase will not snap on if it's in place. And we can put the floor back. Remove the catwalk and the wall. Right, upper floors. Going to start with a half and then a full floor. And then 3 full floors in this row, for want of a better word. Column. Depends which way you're facing. Be aware, because this ladder is illegal, that if you make a mistake with the floors, you will not be able to take them off. If that happens, put another ladder down. You can actually attach it through walls, so you could put a legal ladder down, just snap one to here, and then take the ladder off and the floors in order and start again. Right, so we're going to put the bathroom door in. Now we cannot double wall this, well we can, but the piece sticking out the other side will have wallpaper on it. It will not have that nice shingle. So we're going to cheat and just have the shingle on the inside of the bathroom. And we are going to put our top wall arch on top of our wall, like so. Then we have these gaps which we can fill with fascias, assuming the game is behaving itself today. Who knows? Sometimes it works. Sometimes it makes you want to cry. But there we go. It seems to be working. And there we have that roof line. We need a double wall above the stairs for the side of the bathroom. You can't double wall this set, so just use a barn wall. Now, I have had a problem with this today, and I have done this part of the video a couple of times, and twice this would just automatically double wall, which I thought was strange because it didn't the first time, and now it's stopped working. So if you can't put a double wall in there, just use the door method. And then convert that to a plain wall. And the upstairs is finished. Right, for the dock. The first thing we're going to do is make sure that you have a foundation under this ladder, staircase. Not allowed to call them ladders, apparently. Like so. Then you should be able to, I've just realised I'm going to be in the way. Take these foundations off. Before we take this foundation off, we need to add a staircase, and before we do that, we need to add the deck area. Now, I have a feeling the stairs will not go on with that fence there. If you do not have a flamer trap and you don't mind them, just try using this staircase. This sometimes fits, but apparently it's not going to today. So we need to either remove this or flamer trap it. Right, we should be able to get the stairs on now. Right, we can now take this off. If it's too high, it might not come off. So it is a bit random, I'm afraid. And we can now add upper floors to this staircase. And an additional 2 for the dock. Then I'm going to use the pillar blueprint to put pillars on. I have done some short building techniques videos, and I will post a link to how to create this blueprint. I have pulled this one forward slightly. It's because I want to get a pillar underneath, and if it's too close to the edge, the stairs will be in the way. So just go along and do that. I'm not being as precise as I usually am because I'm kind of rushing. Then, where you can, add pillars underneath. This one is a problem because they will not go through the rock. Right, I put half pillars on the top here, but I have found, somebody mentioned in a comment on my Cranberry Cottage video that you can just snap pillars underneath, which worked fine over here, but I have found that when you're in deep water it says cannot place, item must not be placed in water, which was why I actually did it this way on that build. And the way you get around that is you go underwater and you build your foundations out. You will be able to remove most of these. Now I'm going to use a half floor to get these. I don't have a blueprint for the half pillars, but it's made in exactly the same way. So I'm going to snap on some short pillars in the middle like so. And because I have this foundation underneath, I can now snap these pillars on underneath. Now we can't take this foundation directly underneath it off, but you can take these other ones off. Just do that actually. So that's that. To do the conduits, this is a similar technique to how I did my conduit pergola. Just take a roof. It's actually easier with the basic roof because it has lines on it. That one. Get a conduit. Like so. We need to put a holding one here because when we take this roof and wall off, that one will disappear. But we have this holding one, and then we're just going to take a long one, snap that on, and just go along with these long ones. The reason I'm using the long ones is that these all use the same amount of budget, and they are budget intensive. Then you can simply you can hang things off conduits. So you can just hang a light. It can be tricky to place it, but there we go. So that's how I did that. Change up the floors for whatever you want. I quite like the new mine floors. I think they look quite attractive. And of course, you can change the foundations to the same. Although I have noticed that with all of the stripe patterns, they match the direction of the stripes on the default. These ones go the other way. So, for example, if I change this one to this, the pattern is going at a 90-degree angle. So bear that in mind if you want your floors going in a particular direction. You can do the whole ground floor like that. Wallpaper. For the downstairs, I just used this blue and white stripe. And for the upstairs, I used the cream. But it's up to you. I have recently, well, in the last few hours, I picked up this, which is a Game Pass perk, which is like a white wood, or like the sanctuary walls, which I actually really like. I'm using this on a new build. So whatever you have, whatever you want. The last thing, again entirely optional, is to put a divider wall between the kitchen and the hallway. Just flame a trap it and double wall. And then convert it to this set. Now, I noticed this. It's very weird. 76 has been really inconsistent for me with this video. I have had to do a lot of retakes because of things working strangely. I am on a custom world, but my settings are the same as the default game, and I double checked it. When I did this on my original build, this trim stuck through the wall here, but it has not here, so I just don't, I honestly don't know. I used the pirate ship door for this. If you have it, it looks cute. Place another door on the same tab and you can just switch it out. So, there we have it. It's been a difficult build. It was supposed to be a fairly easy build, but the game has caused me a lot of problems. And I think I've had to do some parts, I've had to do 4 or 5 takes. So it's not been easy, and I just do not know why it's been misbehaving. But we'll just chalk it up to one of those things, hopefully. So I hope you like the build. If you've got any comments or questions, please post them down below. I have a few things coming soon, and I'm going to be doing another kind of tips video. I'm going to try and do some more of the shorts. It's just some of them are getting a bit more complicated, so they're not so short. But I'll see what I can do. And I also have a No Man's Sky video I want to get out at some point for those that are interested in No Man's Sky. Anyway, that is all from me today. Thank you for watching.